Guys, so today we're going to be going over one of my favorite builds in the game period, the DT MDR 308, which is the 7.62x51 build, this bullpup shredder. Today we are going to be doing a build that is the lowest recoil. Like, this recoil is godly. Let's talk about it. What up, guys, and welcome back to the X-Field Hideout. My name is Ghost. If you guys have never been here before, I'm super excited you guys are here, and I'm super excited for this build. If you guys want to see more builds and more Tarkov content, I've been dropping 3 to 4 videos a week, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you want to see all of that good stuff and not miss out. Really quick before we get into the build, I want to let you guys know that I do stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 5 p.m. PST. I would love to have you guys by the stream. It's usually a splendid time. All the links you guys need will be down below, so don't miss out on that. But without further ado, let's start out on this sweet build. So really quickly before we get into this build, I want to say this build's going to run a little bit different, because what we usually do is we grab the weapon, we strip it all the way down to like the bare bones, and then we add on all the in-slot items that is going to make the gun better. Now, this build is a very simple build, and when you buy it, it pretty much already comes with the best in-slot items for the most part. We're going to add a few things to make the ergo good and the vertical recoil as low as possible, essentially, and I'll explain that. But that's why I'm not going to go over every single part, because when you buy this weapon, it's going to come with some of these parts already. Now, before we get into the build, let's talk about a couple of pros and cons about running the 7.62x51 bullpup style. One of them is this is a very powerful weapon in CQB. Being able to have the power of M62 and M61 in CQB setting and still have a very snappy ergo and be able to just like zip around is an amazing feeling. Now, one of the cons about running this weapon, that is a major one, is the fact that the PMags that it comes with only are 20 round magazines. Now, it's kind of weird that they're doing this. I don't really know why. I wonder if they're going to add the 30 round PMags, because the IRL version of this weapon, whether it's the MDR or the MDRX, they both have the 30 round PMags. So maybe they feel like it'll be unbalanced if they add them. I don't know why. That's one of my only drawbacks. Even though I use this weapon mainly for semi-auto and burst, I don't really full auto this unless I really have to. You burn through a 20 round magazine like this. So that's definitely a drawback to this weapon. The other thing is a pro and a con at the same time, and that is the fact that there isn't a lot of ways to mod this weapon, which makes this build very easy and good for like on the go. Just buy it and literally throw on a couple things and you're ready to go into raid. But that's the other drawback, is we can't get the ergo as high as maybe we want, and we can't get the vertical recoil as low as maybe we want, because we have those less modding options. So it's kind of like bittersweet that that's the case. Lastly, before we get into this build, I'm going to go over a couple reasons why I choose what I choose, and then I'm also going to give you the alternatives, because this is a very subjective build. Now, the numbers are numbers. The recoil is going to be low for this weapon, but at the same time, there's things that you can choose that maybe you like and I don't, and the weapon would honestly be very similar, if not the same. So keep that in mind when I'm telling you what I want to use. Now, the first things we're going to go over is your pistol grip, your magazine, your handguard, and your barrel are going to be the same when you buy it from flea market. We're going to buy it from flea market at about 70,000 rubles. So don't worry about those. The first thing we're going to talk about is the PK06. There's not really a lot to say about this. This adds -2 ergo. I think a lot of people argue why you wouldn't use an EKP for low recoil builds, because it gives you that -1%. So actually, I think I have an EKP in here somewhere. Let me look real quick. Okay, I do. So this EKP, right? This is going to give us that -1 recoil, but I don't like it because it takes away 6 from the ergonomics. And I want that high ergo snap that this comes with. That's the reason why I'm choosing the MDR. So in my opinion, I'm going to go with the PK06. It's one of my mainly go-to sites anyway for most of my weapon builds. I personally just love the site, and we don't have to worry about that huge negative effect that it has on the ergo. It's only -2 on the ergo. We don't get that -1%, but it's all good. This is going to run about 34 to 36 if you get it from Jaeger rubles. I can find it on Flea though, usually for like 33, 34, 35, so about that. Then we're gonna go to the 4.1 inch Magpul M-Lock, and you're gonna need this to put on any of the foregrips that you choose. We're gonna skip the foregrips real quick because I wanna talk about those separately. Then we're gonna go to the 2.5 inch Magpul M-Lock. This one is going to be what you're gonna use for a laser or flashlight. I feel like everybody should be running at least a laser or flashlight. Flashlights after the buff are extremely powerful, very blinding, and I win a lot of fights specifically because they don't know exactly where I'm at, and the flashlight is definitely blinding. Also, any type of laser, I usually use hollow sun on most of my stuff. It's going to tighten the spread of your hip fire, which makes it amazing because we should be hip firing if we're in that close range. It's going to make fights a lot quicker and more efficient versus trying to ADS every single time you get into a gunfight. These can both be found from mechanic level 3. The 4.1 is about 1,600 rubles and the 2.5 is about 2,500 rubles. So the next part is one of those things that's pretty subjective with very similar results. I'm going to be running the Daniel Defense Wave Muzzle Brake, and that's going to give us that -7 recoil, and it's going to not mess with our ergo. That is going to run us 8,500 rubles from mechanic level 3, and we're going to need that for the suppressor. Then the suppressor is going to be the Daniel Defense Wave Cutie Sound Suppressor, a little cutie suppressor, and that's going to give us that -7% extra recoil and a -7 ergo. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. I like suppressors for multiple reasons. One, it's going to mitigate the muzzle flash. Two, it's not going to let everybody in a huge map radius know exactly where I'm engaging. And it's going to help with who I'm engaging with to tell where my shots are exactly coming from. So there's a lot of reasons why. And most of the builds, in all honesty, it's going to give you less recoil on some of these nicer suppressors. Some of the cheaper ones, not as much, but some of the nicer ones, they will. So I'm running a suppressor, and that's going to give us the -14% recoil, and you're going to be able to get the Daniel Defense Wave Suppressor for about 55,000 rubles, and that's going to be from mechanic level 3. Now, this is the alternative. I'm kind of going with this build like price isn't an option. I'm not thinking about like the best budget. This isn't a budget build. I don't think this is a budget weapon in general. So I'm not really worried about that. But if you don't want to run a suppressor, I would definitely recommend the Landtac Dragon 7.62 for the 5.1. And that's going to give you the -12% recoil, only messing with -1 for the ergo. So it's still a really, really good option for this weapon. And it's going to keep your ergo a little bit higher than if you're running the suppressor, right? At the cost of recoil. We are going for the lowest possible vertical recoil. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this build. Now, the very last thing I'm going to talk about is the main difference and arguments and everything that happens between these three foregrips. We're going to be talking about the RKO1, the RKO2, all by Zenit, and the RK1, that is the B25U version, so it's that slanted version. Now, the price differences are definitely there. The stats are very close though. So I personally like the RK1 B25U. This is what I run on my builds. This is going to give you that -4 recoil and +4 ergo. Now, this is where it gets tricky because this is going to depend if you want that snappy ergo or if you want to give up a little bit of that for that -1%. So this is what I'm going to run, but it is the most costly. And this one right here is going to be about 46,000 rubles from skier level 4. Now, I'm going to put this on my build because that's what I'm going to be running. But either of these guys would be a good choice. The Zenit RK1 is about 17,000 rubles from skier level 4. This is going to give us -4 recoil and +3 ergo. So it's only one less ergo for about 50,000 less rubles. Do you see where I'm going with this? So this is a great option. I don't think any of these are a wrong option. And then we have the RK2, which is definitely a staple for in-slot lowest vertical recoil, and that's because it gives you that big O -5%. You get that extra -%, but it also comes with -2 ergo. So I want the ergo for the sake of the 1%. So if you wanted to go with the actual lowest recoil, you would run the RK2 for the sake of ergo. We're going to be running the RK1 B25U. That one's right here. So we have the differences. The RK1 is going to be the 17,000. The RK2 is 25,000. And then the B25U is 47,000. Those are all skier level 4. Really just depends on what you want to do. So that's pretty much all I do for this build. Now let's take it into the hideout and see how it works. Okay, here we go. Let's see this guy in action. Look at that. Look at how snappy that is compared to the SA58. Now let's try full auto. I'm telling you guys, it feels like it's going to be high, but it's not. Watch this. Let's do it again. It's nice. I'm telling you, it's nice. If you need it, it's there for you. I'm not even moving my mouse right there. It's literally just riding right there. This is going to be your new favorite weapon. So this build is going to leave us at 75 ergonomics and 89 vertical recoil. I really hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you guys end up using this build and liking it, let me know down in the comments, and also whatever other builds you guys want to see, being that this was actually requested by you guys and it just so happened to be one of my favorite builds in the game, so I was happy to make it. But let me know down in the comments whatever else that you guys want to see. I really appreciate you guys being here for another build guide. If this is something that brought you value, you felt like you got something out of this video, make sure you smash that like button because it goes a long way for the channel. And also don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Tarkov content. I've been dropping 3 to 4 videos a week, and also hit the little bell if you never want to miss an upload. Hope to see you guys in the live stream sometime at twitch.tv/xvlnghost Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 5 p.m. PST. We have a lot of fun in the Twitch stream, whether you guys want to talk about this stuff live, get into some raids, or just hang out. It's usually a good time. I hope you guys are very blessed. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, depending on where you're at in the world. I hope your raids are fantastic, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. I'm asking to get killed. Oh, no, not again. No. I knew that was gonna happen.